Hey, welcome back everybody. Hope you're all watered and ready to go. We're going to do some Q&As. We had some pretty straightforward ones before the break. We're going to kick off with something possibly a little more contentious. This has been submitted in advance by email by Mrs. Joan Williamson, so thank you, Jane, for this. Here's the question. Is the library profession to blame for the present state of affairs in public libraries? Are librarians too anxious to keep a low profile and be reactive rather than proactive? So I'll just go over that again. Is the library profession to blame for the current state of affairs in public libraries? And are librarians too anxious to keep a low profile and be reactive rather than proactive? And she said, please comment. So I'm sure you will. I'm going to go in a random order, and I'll start off with Mike Hoskins.
Thank you. I don't think so. Yes, if you look around the country, the position varies immensely. But wherever you look, you will find public librarians, and indeed librarians in other areas, who are high profile, who are saying all the right things, doing all the right things, and making a tremendous impact. Libraries have been very badly served, public libraries very badly served over the past few years by, and I'll be contentious now, by, I think, MLA, by the Department of Culture, Media and Sport, if one can call it a Department of Culture, Media and Sport, and by ministers who, to be blunt, have really not put their heads above the parapet and have let all sorts of things happen. Is there a way through this? Yes, I think so. Because although there are tales everywhere about library closures, if you actually read behind the headlines, you look at the headlines, you will find a huge amount of public support, and that public support is being generated by librarians and by the public themselves. Inevitably there will be change. Some libraries will close. I'm not necessarily personally averse to some libraries closing. Indeed, I closed 10 myself. In fact, I closed more than 10. I think I've closed 15 over a number of years. And we do have to change, and we do have to deliver things differently. It's going to be a very tough decade. But I think we do and have the opportunity to emerge more strongly beyond that. And I think one of the byproducts of this challenge will be that librarians and staff working and remaining to work in the public sector will be more professional, will be more committed, and will be stronger.
Thank you, Mike. I will go over to Sue Cook for her response.
Well, thinking of some of the colourful characters that I've come across in a very long career, I wouldn't say it was librarians not putting their heads above the parapet. I agree with Mike. We have difficult times, and one of the things I got very weary of was having to sort of explain myself and explain my profession as I went along. From my point of view, which is very much the public libraries one, I think in some ways librarians have improved things across the board. When I started out, there weren't the same opportunities or chances in other areas. It was public librarianship, academic librarianship, and that was about the range of choice that we had. I think, again, yes, we have been let down very badly. I think of people like David Lamley, who started off saying, you know, that libraries were for him and all the rest of it, and actually turned out to be using, you know, DCMS as a, shall we say, a stepping stone to something better. And I know that certainly prevailed in local library committees, were very much the training ground for new councils and what have you. I was disappointed with MLA. It should have made much more impact. It managed to do it in the museum sector and get the Renaissance project off the ground, and that really did act as a shot in the arm for that profession. We have not been served in the same way. And I do believe, though, that there is a sector that does say the less trouble you make, the more you'll sort of survive bad times. I don't agree with that, and I don't think the current generation of librarians do. And I'm really pleased to see at branch level and group level that new professionals are coming through. They're determined, they're not going to give in, and having gone through the Thatcher years and been a young professional then myself, I know we're going to be very successful. We do need a higher profile. We do need a very, very strong brand. And I do think that CILIP will be instrumental in putting that out there in the future.
Thank you very much, Sue. We're going to go up north to Edinburgh and ask Liz for her response.
Well, yes, I do think we are to blame, to be honest. Even if we are high profile, we seem to do it in almost an isolated fashion, and we haven't lobbied properly, or not even lobbied, but sold what we do properly to the right people. Partly I think the difficulty is we do so much that it's very difficult to narrow down to our unique selling points, and because our audience is cradle to the grave, I think again it makes it difficult for us. And another problem for us, I think, is the way we fall between culture and education, and we seem neither to be fish nor fowl. The other thing is we are changing and mutating so rapidly that I think each one of those on its own is a big problem. Putting them together makes it an even more difficult problem to address. But I do think people have been getting much better at it, and if it's an issue for the board to put its mind to how we take this one forward.
Thank you, Liz. I'll now ask Sue Westcott the same question.
I think we have to take some of the blame, because I think we take some of the credit for the amazing things that public libraries do. I mainly use public libraries as a user. I've never worked in one. I've been to the Ideas Store in Tower Hamlets. My nearest library is Brixton. We visited a beautiful library down near Torquay last year. And there's real imagination amongst the librarians there who have created those spaces for the communities that they serve. And I think if we want to take the credit for that, we also have to take the blame sometimes. And I think we have to think about how we project and how we integrate with our communities, how we work out what it is that they want from us. And we have to stop being so politically naive. If I'm entirely honest, you can't expect the ministers to do things. No minister is there to serve anything other than his own career, particularly if they're junior minister. And we need to be less trusting. We need to take a lot more notice of how, professional lobby companies behave, how they get their agendas across. And there's plenty of experience in the information sector of people who work in those kind of organisations. And we should be drawing on that experience to work out how, as a professional body, we actually market all the different types of library and information services that we've got.
Thank you. And
Maria's been writing furiously.
Yeah. I'm writing your comments as well, not only mine. I think we are to blame. Yes, I do. I think we don't even know who we are and what we do. So how are we going to communicate that to other people? I think that we have too many names. Not even my family have a clue what I do. My friends don't understand me. My boyfriend doesn't want to know. How many people? How many people do you really know that are not in the profession that really understand what you do and what knowledge managers, blah blah blah, do? That's the problem. That we haven't been able to communicate to people what we do, and yeah, we haven't been able to communicate to the public or politicians. We are not politically savvy. We don't know how to tell politicians how we contribute to their own agenda, and this is what it's about. It's not why we are important because we are fantastic. They don't care about that. It's how we're going to contribute to their agendas. And the problem is, I don't think we really understand how important we are. We think we do, but I don't think we do. If we feel that, if we know that libraries and information transform lives, if we know that we have the key to information, then we're very important. We are the key to development. We are the key to personal development, to community development. Why don't we think about that to ourselves? Why don't we realize that politicians rely on information that we provide, that bankers rely on information that we provide, lawyers, doctors, everybody else rely on us to be able to do their job. So for that matter, we are more important than them. Why don't we consider ourselves more important than them and start walking up high and telling people who we are? I think that's the problem. So we are to blame, and I think we need to sort it out sooner rather than later. Thank you.
Thank you very much to everybody.